Okay, the second chapter, what did you study? About what you have studied? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Second chapter, it's about what? About whom you studied, about whose character or behavior you studied.
Consumer.
Consumer, right? So this chapter, we are going to see about producers. Okay. So what was the behavior of a consumer, at what income he will spend, how, whether whole income to get the maximum utility, how, whether two outputs, what level he will be selecting. These are the things you have learned. Same you will be learning related to the producer in this particular chapter. Okay. That is production and cost, in the sense, on what basis, in the sense, according to what cost the producer will produce, or how much profit his, what is the relationship between the input and the output, or at what cost he will be ready to produce this much output. That is the topic in this particular chapter. Okay. Now, what do you mean by production? Can anyone say what is production?
Ma'am, the
And
making of a certain good.
Hmm. By using
raw
some,
materials.
by using some inputs or raw materials. Okay. Inputs, when we say, it includes all the factors of production. When we say raw material, only one thing we are specifying, right? So here, production, in the sense, we are converting, we are using some inputs to make some outputs. Okay, so with the help of some inputs, we are using outputs here. And usually, in where are we producing things? I mean, there should be a building where we bring all the inputs. There only we convert that into outputs. So usually we can say that it is a firm or an industry. So a firm, in the firm, they will buy all the raw materials or inputs, whatever is needed for the production. Then that will be, with the help of these inputs, they will be producing outputs. You have studied about factors of production, right? What all will come under factors of production? What all things are coming under
Raw
factors of production?
material,
Yes,
labor,
raw materials, labor.
Land, machinery.
Yes, land. So usually you can say this machinery, then raw material and all under one category. You have studied land is one, labor is one, then capital,
capital,
then one more.
raw material.
It is entrepreneurship.
Uh,
Okay. You might have studied in the capital, there are two types. Okay. What are those two types? Do you remember?
Ma'am,
Physical
physical,
capital.
Fixed capital and working capital, right? Physical capital is there. That is different in this sense. When I'm asking, that is related to two types: working capital and fixed capital. What do you mean by fixed capital? Fixed capital, what is that?
ma'am, capital used to buy machinery or something.
Yes, fixed capital, in the sense, once you spend money or once you invest, that can be used for many years. It will remain for many years, right? Working capital, in the sense that that is the opposite of it. So what will be working capital? Example.
Ma'am, example is to buy raw materials
Yes,
or
raw material, money
excavation.
what you are spending for buying the raw material, those things comes under working capital. So capital, you can see two types: fixed capital and working capital. So here, four factors of production will be taken by the firm. Then they will produce, with the help of all these factors, they will be producing output. That is what you mean by production. Or we say that we use raw material, or we use the capital that will be used in the production, or it is used for further production. That output you will be getting when we are using these particular factors in the production. Okay, just wait 1 minute. Yeah. So here in the production and cost, in this particular chapter, what are we learning? We are learning the behavior of a producer. Okay. We are learning behavior of a producer. Now, what do you mean by production? That is a process by which inputs are transformed into output. That is what you mean by production. Now, how we are carrying out the production? It will be done by whom? By the producers or firms. There will be an area where we can carry on with the production. Now, firm, what they do, they acquire different inputs. What are the inputs here? Labor, it can be, machines, it can be, raw materials, like that. Various things will be taken by the firm or the producers. Then they convert these inputs into to produce the output. I want everyone to switch on your video. Yes. Omar, is there any problem? Ellen Thomas? Yes. Okay. So here, what is production? It is converting inputs into output. Who is carrying out this? It will be done by producers or by the firms. What they do, they take the labor, machines, land, or raw materials, they take that, and they, with the help of these, they convert these input into output. Now, output, who is consuming? It can be consumed by the consumers. That is one. Another one, otherwise it will be consumed by other firms for further production. Okay, so here two uses for the production. One, it can be used by the consumers. Other one, it will be used by other firms for further production. Can you tell any example for this which is consumed by the consumer or by the other firms for production? Who can say? Abdul Amin, can you tell anything that is produced in an industry which is consumed by the consumer? Directly we are consuming that. What it can be?
Fertilizers.
Fertilizers we are consuming. Okay, fine. Fertilizers, we use it on the fertilizers. Are we using it for, is it, are we using directly that?
Ma'am, food?
Food, a food item, anything you take, or cloth you take, or cloth in the sense which with the ready-mades with what you get, that is that we are directly consuming. Fertilizer is used for further production, right? Yes or no, Abdul? Yeah, it is used for further production. Okay, further production. Huh? Further production in the sense you apply that on the land, you are producing something else. So it is used in further production. Okay, so understand the difference between what do you mean by directly consumed or directly used by the consumer. Okay, in the sense I told that a shirt, what you are buying, it is directly you are going to use that. You are not using it for further production. Or you are gifting to someone also, it is not further production here. Okay, so here it can be consumed by the consumers or it can be used by others for further production. Next one, production is instantaneous. Production is instantaneous in the sense we are assuming that there is no time lapse between the input and production of the output. Okay, there is no time gap between this. We are assuming, okay, we are assuming that there is no time gap between the inputs and the production of output. Do you think it is correct?
No, ma'am.
Because if you take the cultivation, you know that we are using inputs many times, and are we getting the output then and there? Are we?
No.
No, it takes time. Okay, but here we are assuming that there is no, it is instantaneous. As you use the input, you are going to get the output. So this is one assumption. You can keep it in your mind. Another one, We are using the terms of production and supply synonymously, in the sense if we say production or if we say supply, it is quite same in economics. Okay. We are using these two terms, production and supply. It can be used for either, I mean, it's same meaning, we are with the same meaning we are using production and supply. Now, I told before that firms will acquire inputs, or firms uses inputs for the output. But when they are buying inputs, they have to pay some amount of money that we call it as cost of production. Okay. So in order to acquire some inputs, the firm should pay some amount from where they are getting the inputs, that we call it as cost of production. Now, once the output is produced, what the firms will do? They will sell it in the market, earns revenue. And the difference between revenue and the cost, that is a firm's profit. So whenever a firm buys input, they have to pay some amount of money, that we call it as cost of production. So after production, they are getting output. This output, they will sell it in the market and they are earning money. They get revenue. And what is the difference between that revenue and cost? What is remaining? That is the profit of industry, or a firm's profit, or a industry's profit. Now, what is the main aim of a firm? Always you might have heard this. The main aim of a firm or an industry or an entrepreneur, what is that? He wants to get
more profit.
more profit, maximum profit. So he will work in such a manner that he should maximum profit. So there in the consumer's case, I told consumer will be spending money to get maximum
Utility.
or satisfaction. Here for the producer, it will be maximum profit. So that much output he will be producing where he can get maximum profit. Next, what do you mean by production function? Okay. Production function shows the relationship between inputs used and output produced. So production function is equal to, production is a function of output and input. Production is a result of output and input. I mean, input and output. First comes input. So it is a relationship between inputs used and outputs produced by the firm. Now, various quantities, for a given various quantities of input, whatever we are using, it gives maximum quantity of output that can be produced. For given input, in the sense, you know that we need many inputs for the production. Example, you take labor and capital. These two we are taking, and with that two inputs, they will try to produce maximum output out of it. Okay, that is what is given. For various quantities of inputs used, they will get maximum, or they will try to get maximum quantity that can be produced. Now, here we are assuming that, here, before that, one more, so many examples they have given in your textbook related to the production. For example, a tailor, a case of tailor, it is given. He is using machine, cloth, thread, and all those things for producing shirt. So what all can be considered as a input here for a tailor? He is using various things for producing shirt. Output is what? Amil, what is the
Shirt.
output? Shirt. Okay. What all inputs I told you? What all inputs? Pranav?
Cloth.
Yes, only cloth is enough.
Machineries or labor.
Yes, he needs weighing machine. His own labor he needs. All these things are considered as inputs. Another one example, listen, a rickshaw puller is there. What is his output?
He is pulling the rickshaw.
He is pulling the rickshaw. Okay, so rickshaw rides. We can say it is as the output. What is his input?
The rickshaw and the labor.
Rickshaw and the labor. So these few examples they have given. Okay, now come to the topic. Simplicity, we are assuming that farmer uses only two inputs to produce wheat, which are they? Land and labor. Okay, so we are taking an example. A farmer is there. He is using only two inputs. What is that? Land and labor. Do you think that only these two inputs are required for the production of for doing any cultivation? What do you feel?
Ma'am, no, ma'am. We want machines also.
Yes, we want many other things, or we need various other things, maybe fertilizer, pesticides, or machines like that, various things we need. But for simplicity, we are taking here only two things, which are the land and labor. Now, production function, what it tells according to our production function, what did I say? What do you mean by a production function? It is a relationship between what?
Inputs used and outputs produced.
Inputs used and output produced. So here what they have given, maximum amount of wheat he can produce with an amount of land he is using, and at the same time how many number of hours of labor he performs. So that is the production function for him. So what is the production function here? It tells us what the maximum amount of wheat which we can produce for a given amount of land that he is using at a given number of hours, or at a given number of hours of work what he is performing. Now here in your textbook it is given, suppose that he is using 2 hours of labor per day and 1 hectare of land he has, how much he can produce. So it is given that maximum of 2 tons of wheat. So this is one example. Then what will be the function? So function, I told you, that is the relationship between input and output. So what it will be? A function that describe this relationship, we call it as production function. What it will be in this case? What is Q here? Quantity of amount produced. What is L here? Number of hours of labor. And what is K here? Area of land. So quantity is a function of K into L. That shows that quantity, whatever you are getting, how you got it, the area of land into the amount of hours of work, how many he spent in a particular day. That is what? This is how you get the production function. In your textbook, one example is given that I'll tell you later. Just listen now. This is related to the production function of how much wheat they are producing. Next, it tells us, it in the sense what? Production function. It tells us the relationship between inputs and outputs. Now listen the condition. If at any manner, if K is increasing or L is increasing, what will happen to the quantity? What will happen to the production of wheat? That also will
Increase.
increase. Okay, so at any manner, if land is increasing or if labor is increasing, it will result in more production. Okay, for any L or any K, there will be only one Q. That means at a given L, at a given K, there will be only one quantity produced, one amount of quantity produced. So we are telling that the maximum amount output for any level of inputs, a production function deals with the efficient use of inputs. Here what we are telling, whenever we are using the inputs, We are using that in an efficient manner. With that efficiency, we are getting maximum output. Okay. Now, one more thing, efficiency here, what do you mean by that? More than that, we cannot produce the output from that same level of input. The before example, there is an example before I told. What is that? 2 hours of labor, 1 hectare of land. With this, we can produce maximum of 2 tons of wheat. More than this, it cannot be produced. Okay. So he uses 2 hours of labor, 1 hectare of land. With this, what is the result? What is the output here? Rahul, what is the output?
Can you repeat?
With 2 hours of labor and 1 hectare of land, what is the maximum output? Hmm?
2 tons of wheat.
2 tons of wheat. Okay. Can we increase with the same 2 hours and 1 hectare of land? Can we increase this to 2.5?
No, ma'am.
Hmm?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, that is what they are telling when we talk about efficiency. It implies that it is not possible to get any more output from the same level of input. So same level of input, there is only one chance of maximum output. Beyond that, you cannot increase. Okay. Next one. Another one point, production function is defined for a given technology. Production function, when we are talking, it is at given this, then only this production will work. It is a technological knowledge. At the same time, with that knowledge that determines the maximum level of output that can be produced using different combination of inputs. So when we talk about production function, we are assuming that at this given level of technology, at this given level of manner of doing production, with the help of inputs, whatever we are producing, that is the production function. So a given technology is already existing. Technology is not considered as an input here. We are not, it's already set up there. Okay. So we are not using it as an input here. Inputs with the level of knowledge. When we talk about technology with the level of knowledge, take it in that sense. So here it is a technological knowledge that determines the maximum level of output, which can be produced by using different combination of input. If the technology improves, if our knowledge improves, the maximum level of output for different input combination also increases. So when this happens, when our knowledge increases, when our technology increases, what happens to the production here? What happens to the production, Kevin?
The production will increase.
The production will increase. Okay, so we'll have a new production function then. Next one, before going into this, yeah, just listen one more thing. The input that a firm uses in the production function, we call it as factors of production. I told you before, there are some inputs which we are using for production. These we call it as factors of production. For example, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, all these are considered as the factors of production. Now, to produce an output, a firm may require different number of inputs. Here again, one example, what they have given in your textbook, assume that the firm that produces output using only 2 factors of production. Previous, I told you that farmer is using only 2 factors. Now here in this particular example, they are taking only 2 factors, which are they? Labor and capital. Okay. Now what production function, it says that maximum quantity of output, that is Q, that can be produced by using different combinations of 2 factors, that is labor and capital. So we are writing production function as Q is a, sorry, just one. Q is equal to, it is a function of L and K, L into K. So this F denotes what? Function. L means labor, K means capital, Q is the maximum output. So quantity produced, it is always a function of the inputs. Here we have taken two inputs, that is why we are taking L and K. If more inputs are taken, what we have to say, more should be included. So quantity is a function of what? Function of what can be written here? Leave this L and K. What can be written here? Quantity is a function of
Its inputs.
inputs. Because in the example, we assumed that only two inputs are there. That is labor and capital. So here I'm not telling whether it is only two inputs or three inputs. Just telling that quantity is a function of inputs. Okay. Now one example they have given in your textbook. Just I'll show you that. 1 minute. Yes. Here production function is given. In this side, you can see the number of units of capital, it is increasing. On the top, it is given. This side, you can see number of units of labor, it is increasing. Okay. Now, what is the given output when we are using two units of labor and 2 units of capital? What is the output given here? Helen Thomas, wait. Helen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Did you hear for my question?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that?
10.
You heard the answer also in between?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, fine. So next question. What will be the output when there is 4 units of labor and 2 units of capital? Anish?
24, ma'am.
24. So this, what is showing through this table now? What are they telling about? They're talking about what? Sanam, can you tell? What does this table represents?
Some production function.
Production?
Function.
Production function. What is a production function? Production function is written here, I know. No. Kevin?
Yes, ma'am.
What is this production function?
Ma'am, it determines how much amount of labor or how much amount of labor and how much amount of capital will produce how much output.
What
Or,
is the
yeah.
output? What is the output when we use this many number of capital and quantity of capital? How much we are using? According to that, what is the output? That is what given. So production function is a function of Abdul. Production function is a function of tell. What relation they are showing in the production function? What relation it is shown in the production function?
Inputs.
Inputs. Inputs. See, my God. What is that? I didn't hear. Yes.
This is the relationship between inputs and outputs.
Very good. It's a relationship between input and output. Okay. So here, this table shows the relationship at 3 units of labor, at 4 units of capital. What is the output? That is, what is the output? At 3 units of labor, 4 units of capital, what will be the output? Nobody knows?
40.
40. Okay, why you people are very slow in answering? It's crystal clear. Directly you can see what is given. Okay, two more questions. At 6 units of labor and 5 units of capital, what is the output?
59.
59. Okay. At 5 units of labor and 5 units of capital, what is the answer? What is the output? Given output?
58.
Okay, 58. Okay, fine. So you understood now the relationship between output and input. I hope so. Another one important thing you can see, if labor is 0 and capital is 0, what is the output? Is there any output? No output.
0.
0. Okay. Another one more thing, important one. Labor is 0. Capital is 1. What is the output? 1 capital is there. Labor is 0. What is the output?
0.
0.
0. So this you have to keep it in your mind. Any one input, if it is 0, there will not be any output. Okay. There should be some amount of inputs, then only production will happen. So here if you see 0 labor at any 2 capital, 3 capital or 4 capital, 5 units of capital, 6 unit of capital, you can see there is no production at all. The same way, if you take capital 0 and remaining 1 labor, 2 labor, 3 labor, 4 labor, 5th labor, 6th labor, you can see there is no production. So it is compulsory that inputs when we are taking, there should be some amount of inputs, then only the production output will be there. Okay. So there is one important point. You have to keep it in your mind. Next. Yeah, this I have taken and this I've got. Yeah. In our example, I told that both the inputs are necessary for the production. If any one input is 0, then there will not be any production. With both the inputs positive, output will be positive. When we say with the both inputs positive, that means what? There should be some amount of inputs. If both are positive, then the output also will be positive. As we increase any amount of any input, what will happen to the output? If we are increasing labor from 1 to 2, if it is increasing, or from 1 to 3, it is increasing, what will happen to the output? It will increase. Okay. So these are few conditions what is given. You can see both the inputs are necessary for production. If any inputs, if it is 0, there will not be any production. At the same time, you can see if both should be positive, then only the output will be positive. As we increase the amount of any one input, you can see the output also will be increasing. Okay. Now, they have given in your textbook regarding isoquant. Okay. This is like indifference curve. Okay. You know what is an indifference curve, right? What is an indifference curve? What is an indifference curve?
It's when two bundles give the consumer the same amount of utility, making
Yeah,
the consumer indifferent.
two goods or two goods it is given, various bundles. Okay. From all these bundles, the consumer is getting same amount of satisfaction, right? Now, this is for producer we are talking. Various combinations of two inputs that result in same amount of output. Okay. It is like the indifference curve. Here, what are we talking? It is for the producers. What are they telling? Various combinations of two inputs. And the result is what? Same amount of output. You will have a graph like this only, like how we have in the indifference curve. You have learned that as we reduce one, we are increasing the other one. There is a particular rate at which we are substituting one commodity for the another one. Because of that reason only, we are having the shape of indifference curve like this. I told you, right? Same thing happens here also. So here what happens? We say marginal rate of technical substitution, at which we are substituting one input for the other one. So what happens? One we are reducing, the other one we are increasing. That results in this particular curve, but there is no change in the level of output. Okay. One more explanation. It is all possible combinations of two inputs that gives you the same maximum level of output. Like this, isopen curve. This okay, this point A, this point B, this point C. All the 3 points gives you same amount of output. But what is happening here? In this case, in this A case, what is happening? Here is output 1, here is output 2. Okay. In the point A, what is what you can see? Which commodity is more? Which input is used more? First input or second input? Or you take it as labor? Okay, this is capital. Okay, just understand like that. So, point A, if you take, which input is more? Krishnanuni, can you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Somewhere else, right?
C.
C?
Which input is more? No, you asked.
What is it, C? Capital. It's not there in your textbook. It's my own example I'm telling. Okay, so don't search in the textbook now. Okay, so here C is more, capital is more. Okay, if you take B, what happened here? What happened? What happened to the capital and labor? Rahul, can you say? B point.
Decrease.
What happened to the capital? Capital
Decrease.
decreased. What happened to the labor?
Increase.
Increased. So here we are reducing capital and we are taking more. So one we reduced, another one increased. What about the point C, Pranav?
It's almost equal.
It is no, don't say like that. We are reducing capital and we are increasing labor. That point I want. Okay, so here this situation, this C point, if you see, we have reduced the C or capital and we have increased labor here. But at the same time, what are we telling? That all these points gives you same amount of output. We are talking only about the inputs. Whatever A is shown, whatever B is shown, C is shown, gives you same amount of output. There is no change in that. But these are particular combinations, what you can see on the graph here. Okay, so here isoquant means what? It is a set of all possible combinations of two inputs which gives you same maximum possible level of output. Now I told how it works because it is a downward sloping curve. Why is it like that? Because of marginal rate of substitution. We are substituting one input for the other one, because when we are using more of one input, we are reducing the other input. Because of that, it results in same level of output. Now isoquant curve, there are some features for this also. Like same like indifference curve, it cannot be tangent or intersect one another. Indifference curves, I told you that it will not intersect with each other. Same way, isoquant curve also will not be tangent. Second feature, they tend to slope downward. Why is it sloping downward? Because of this marginal rate of technical substitution. And as you go to a higher isoquant, for example, yeah, this one. As you go to this particular isoquant, what does it mean? What you have learned in higher indifference curve, the same will come for this also. What do you mean by the second? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. As you go to the second curve, what does it mean?
Increase in output.
Increase in the output. Okay, so here this was the situation before. Now what happened? We are increasing both the capital and the labor, both we are increasing. Because of that, we got a new isoquant curve that gives you a new output. Okay, same if you see the third point here, we are increasing the capital and labor. Because of that, we got a new output that will be the third isoquant curve. Okay, so as you go higher and higher, what does it mean? If there is a shift in the isoquant curve, what does it mean, Krishnanuni? Kevin?
Yes, ma'am.
As you go to here, you can see 3 isoquants. As you if you have a third one, or if you look at the third one, what does it mean? It means more
More output.
or more production. Okay, that is what you mean by higher isoquant. Higher isoquant in the sense more production or more output. What is the reason for that? We are increasing the capital or we are increasing the labor. Both we are increasing. If we increase both, what happens? It will lead to more production. Okay. Okay, let me take the attendance. Abdul Aman. He was there, right? In between the class, left or what? Okay. Ellen Thomas. Ellen.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Ellen Verghese. Ellen Verghese.
Present.
Okay. Anish.
Present, ma'am.
Aparna. Aparna present or
Present,
absent?
ma'am.
Okay. Krishna Kanti. Krishna Nunni.
Present, ma'am.
Naveen.
Present, ma'am.
Nestle, no. Akshay. Pavitra.
Present, ma'am.
Pranav.
Present, ma'am.
Rahul.
Present, ma'am.
Roseanne. Absent. Sayujya.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Vinay.
Present, ma'am.
Vishnu.
Present, ma'am.
Abhiram. Absent. Abhijit.
Present, ma'am.
Abhilash.
Present, ma'am.
Amal.
Present, ma'am.
Basuri. Basuri is present. Kevin.
Present, ma'am.
Omar, Sanam,
Present, ma'am.
Sandra, absent. Okay, then. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.